Now that the 2020 elections are behind us, there's a lot to talk about. While a great deal of focus is placed on the new administration's changes in policies, it's important to take a look at state and local results for ballot measures and consider how they may impact your life. One standout development you may have noticed after last year's election was how many states either moved to decriminalize cannabis or legalize it for adult recreational use. This change in the tide may signal what could be a broader national effort to legitimize marijuana's future place in American society, but that remains to be seen. As of the beginning of 2021, the number of states that have legalized cannabis now totals 15, with the total number of states allowing cannabis for medical use in some capacity has reached a whopping 36 states, 4 territories, and the District of Columbia. Now, this might seem as though marijuana prohibition is nearing its end, but it's worth noting that at the federal level, marijuana remains a Schedule I narcotic, meaning that the federal government has classified it as illicit and in the same category of controlled substances shared by heroin, MDMA, and LSD. One reason this is important is that if you are a non-citizen, your experiences with or use of cannabis may lead you to face some serious immigration problems down the line. You might ask, how could you be punished when you are obeying state law? Here, it's vital to remember that immigration is governed by federal, not state law. What that means is that the legality of cannabis in your state bears little to no weight when going through several immigration processes, like qualifying for a green card or US citizenship, or coming back into the United States after a trip. There aren't even federal exceptions for medical use, with or without a doctor's recommendation. What's more, it is a known practice for immigration officials, be it in a processing capacity like USCIS interviews or in enforcement settings such as ICE field operations or CBP at the border, to ask individuals if they have possessed or used marijuana. If they answer yes, they can be found inadmissible, denied entry into the United States, or have their application for lawful status or naturalization denied. Depending on the circumstances, it can even make a lawful permanent resident deportable. This is true even if the person was never convicted of a crime and the conduct took place inside their own home. Things can be especially risky at the border. Border officials have been known to take people's phones and look through them for photos or social media related to marijuana. This is where it can get tricky, because if a non-citizen believes that they've done nothing wrong, again because they're following the laws of their state, they may readily admit to an immigration official that they have possessed marijuana. Another legal risk has to do with employment in the cannabis industry. In many steps to qualifying for an immigration benefit, grounds for inadmissibility can be created by participating in any capacity in the industry. In some cases, some USCIS officials have charged that working in a state-licensed marijuana business constitutes drug trafficking, whether or not the individual came in contact with any marijuana itself. Again, this can make the person ineligible to gain lawful immigration status, become a US citizen, or be admitted at the border. So here are some tips for non-citizens, which includes lawful permanent residents and is doubly important for undocumented immigrants when considering marijuana's growing legalization efforts. First, the best advice is to avoid cannabis until you are a US citizen. This might sound harshly restrictive, but it is the one way you can be sure to avoid these risks. Secondly, don't work in the marijuana industry. Again, although business is booming in this area, it may not be worth it if you're looking to qualify for some benefit in the future, which includes gaining your citizenship. Next, if you have a medical need and there is no good substitute for medical cannabis, seek a legal consult first. This will help you at least weigh your options against your risks. You may decide that your medical need is the most important. Never leave your house carrying marijuana, a medical marijuana card, paraphernalia, or accessories like a marijuana t-shirt. Don't have photos or share marijuana-related content on social media. With the growth of Homeland Security surveillance apparatus, it is never a bad idea to be safe on this front. Lastly, never discuss marijuana use or possession with any immigration or border official unless you have legal expert advice that this is okay. If an officer presses you on it, say that you do not want to talk to them and you want to speak to a lawyer. Remember, you always have the right to remain silent. Once you admit to anything, you cannot take it back. If, after watching this, you still have lingering questions about cannabis and your specific case, it's highly advised that you seek legal support from a trusted service provider. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.